The phone buzzed against the nightstand at 3:07 a.m. First I thought I was dreaming. But when I blinked awake, the faint glow of the screen lit the dark room, and I saw her name. "I'm with a friend. Don't wait up." A short text. Casual. Almost careless. I stared at it, my pulse quickening. My wife, Megan, wasn't the type to text in the middle of the night. Not unless something was wrong. Or unless she didn't want me to ask questions. I sat up slowly, the silence of the house pressing around me. The wind whispered against the windows, and the dim light from the street lamp painted long, uneasy shadows across our bedroom floor. "A friend," she said. I typed back before I could stop myself. "What friend?" The message sent. Check marks turned blue. No reply. Waited. 30 seconds. Minute. Still nothing. That's when a knot began to twist deep in my chest. A cold, nauseating tension that made it hard to breathe. I scrolled up through our texts from earlier that evening. She'd said she was grabbing dinner with coworkers after a late meeting. "Just decompressing," she'd said. "I need a night to clear my head." I hadn't questioned it. God knows, after the year we'd had, her job stress, my own long hours, the quiet drift between us, she deserved a break. But something about that message didn't feel like a break. Felt like a wall being built in real time. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then I typed another message. "Where are you?" Again, read instantly. No answer. By 3:15 I was pacing the bedroom floor, my bare feet silent on the carpet. Every sound seemed amplified. The refrigerator hummed downstairs, the faint tick of the clock, my own heartbeat. And then, without thinking, I did something I'd promised myself years ago I'd never do again. Find my phone. Megan had shared her location with me back when she started traveling for work, just in case of emergencies. I hadn't used it in months. But now my hand shook as I tapped her name. The map blinked. A blue dot appeared. Not downtown. Not at a restaurant. Not anywhere near the hotel where her office usually hosted client dinners. She was in Maple Ridge. A residential area. Quiet suburban about 20 minutes away. And right next to her name, under current location, I saw the address. I knew that address. Tom Hensley. Her friend from work. The same guy who'd once called her work wife at a Christmas party. The one I'd brushed off as just office banter. My hands went cold. I don't remember putting on my shoes. Or grabbing my keys. All I remember is the drive. The road unspooling before me in streaks of yellow and black, my mind racing through every moment that suddenly made too much sense. The overtime. The late meetings. The shower before bed when she smelled like someone else's cologne. By the time I turned onto Tom's street, my throat felt raw from breathing too hard. His driveway was half lit by the streetlight, and there, parked right in front of his house, was her car. Her silver Honda. I didn't need to go closer. I didn't need to knock or peek through windows. The truth was already there, sitting heavy in my chest like wet cement. But I did it anyway. I parked 2 houses down and walked, heart pounding so loud it felt like it echoed through the quiet night. I stopped just short of the driveway. The house was dark except for the faintest glow from the living room window, warm light flickering against drawn curtains. Voices. Muffled. Laughter. Then silence. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. And then, through the curtain gap, I saw her. Megan. She was standing by the couch, barefoot, hair down, wearing the same green blouse she'd left home in. Only now it was half unbuttoned. Tom stepped into view. He said something. She smiled. The kind of smile I hadn't seen directed at me in months. And that's when I felt something inside me break. Quietly, cleanly, like glass under pressure. I turned around and walked back to my car. When I got home, the house felt colder. I sat in the dark living room, staring at the glow of my phone. Her location still hadn't moved. At 3:42 a.m., I sent one final message. "Tell your friend I said hi." Then I turned off the phone. 5 minutes later, it began to ring. Once. Then again and again. A storm of desperate calls lighting up the screen. Her name over and over. I let it ring. The sound felt hollow now. She came home around 4:30. The front door opened quietly, as if she thought she could sneak in unnoticed. But I was still sitting there in the dark. "Megan," I said, my voice cutting through the quiet. She froze. "Mark, you're awake." Her hair was messy, her lipstick smudged, and she couldn't quite meet my eyes. "Where were you?" Yes. She swallowed hard. "I told you, I was with a friend. A friend named Tom." Her face went pale. "How did you?" "I know where you were." I stood slowly. "I saw your car. I saw you." The silence that followed felt endless. Then she said softly, "It's not what it looks like." I laughed. Came out bitter, broken. "That line's older than our marriage." Tears welled in her eyes. "Mark, please, I needed someone to talk to. It's been so hard lately, and you've been distant and—" "Don't," I said sharply. "Don't make this about me." She took a shaky breath. "It was just one time. Swear. It just happened. That's supposed to make it better." Her voice broke. "I love you, Mark. I just made a mistake." I stared at her. At the woman I thought I knew, the one who'd promised me honesty, loyalty, love. And all I could see was the flicker of that smile she'd given another man. "You didn't make a mistake, Megan," I said quietly. "You chose one." We didn't talk for days after that. She slept in the guest room. I went to work early, came home late. The silence between us was a living thing, heavy and relentless. And then, one evening, she placed an envelope on the kitchen counter. Inside were divorce papers. "I don't want to fight anymore," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I can't fix what I broke." For a moment, I almost said something, almost reached for the hand I'd once promised forever to. But then I remembered the glow of Tom's living room, the way her laughter had sounded like betrayal wrapped in sweetness. I just nodded. "Neither can I." The weeks that followed were a blur of signatures, boxes, and silence. I moved into a small apartment downtown. She kept the house. We split the furniture, the photos, even the dog. The night I left for good, I stood by the doorway, looking back at the empty living room, the same one where she told me once, years ago, that she couldn't imagine life without me. Now she didn't have to imagine. Months later, she texted again. It was a Sunday morning, early spring. "I miss you." I stared at the message for a long time. My heart didn't race this time, it just felt tired. After a moment I typed back, "You miss the version of me who didn't know." Then I put the phone down and went outside. The city was waking up, sunlight spilling over rooftops, the air cool and clean. For the first time in a long while I felt free. Not healed. Not yet. But free. 1 year later. Sometimes late at night I still think about that text. The one that shattered everything. "I'm with a friend." Such simple words, but they carried the weight of years, trust, love, and the illusion of safety. People always say betrayal feels like fire. But it doesn't. Feels like ice. Slow, creeping, numbing. It freezes you from the inside out until you can't tell if your heart is still beating. But eventually the thaw comes. You learn to stop checking your phone at 3 a.m. You learn that silence can be peaceful. You learn that love doesn't always come back, and sometimes that's mercy. And when the memories surface, her laugh, her lies, the storm of desperate calls, you don't flinch anymore. You just breathe. Because the worst night of your life doesn't have to be the end of it. Sometimes it's the beginning.